Hi, Jonna. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you, Liz?
Doing well. Thank you for coming back for our cooking class today.
Thanks for having me. I love doing these classes.
Great. Well, I am going to put up our little slide here, and then maybe you can tell us a little bit about what we're cooking today.
We're doing okay. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Jonna, and I work for Ohio State University through the Ross County Extension Office. And on that little slide there, it was showing that I work for a program called SNAP-Ed, which is funded through the USDA. And today we are going to be making a little breakfast sandwich called a microwave Western scrambler. And these are really quick, really handy to have in your back pocket for those busy mornings when you're trying to get everybody out the door and you still want to do a warm breakfast for everybody. So we're going to start off today. Since this is a pretty quick recipe, I'm going to slide you around here. Everybody, don't get dizzy on me. Okay, so I'm going to start off today with a little bit of knife skills, and I'm going to show you the cuts on how you would chop an onion. So we're going to start off with, I always leave the stem end, which has got all the little root parts on it, on my onions, because I don't know if it's a fact, but I read somewhere years ago that if you don't cut that off, it doesn't release all the gases and it doesn't make your eyes burn as bad. And for some reason, whether it's in my head or if it's fact, it does work for me. So I'm going to cut off the top end, which is where you can tell where the plant was. And then I'm going to cut this in half. When you're cutting a round item, you always want to make sure you got a flat surface, okay? So the first cut I'm going to talk about is a slice, and that is just pretty obvious, okay? When you're slicing something, like if you were slicing an onion for a hamburger, you want to slice it so you got a nice flat piece right there. So then we're going to go into a dice. And I'm going to take this onion and I'm going to cut back through halfway. And then I'm going to make a cut here, 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 here. And you notice I didn't go clear back to the end, so everything's still connected. And I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to rock it across this. And as you see, I'm going to get some nice uniform little pieces. So this is kind of a dice, okay? Now next is a chop. A chop is just where it's not really uniform pieces. You just need it cut up into maybe smaller than dices. So I'm just going to rock my knife through it and shoot across the kitchen a little bit there. And as you see, it makes them just a little smaller. Your pieces aren't exactly uniform, but they're in a smaller piece. So you maybe won't want these big bites of onion in whatever you're cooking. Now today for our recipe, we want this to be a rather small chop. But then there is another cut that, I'm going to put this over so we have a little bit here because I don't need a whole lot of this, which is a mince. A mince is where you're going to take your knife and you're going to just keep rocking through it. See, I'm holding one end and just leaving a touch of the knife on the end. And this is just going to cut your onion up so it's almost a pasty type cut. You're going to have a lot of juices in there, and they're really teeny tiny pieces, okay? So that is a mince. For today's recipe, though, like I said, we want, put this aside, we just want a small chop, okay? So, all right. So that's our cuts: slices, dices, chops, and mince. Chopping 101. Okay. So our recipe today, and Liz will be putting this up where you'll be able to print a copy of this off or save it to your computer, whatever you'd like to do. And as I said, they're called microwave Denver Scramble sliders. And these are super, super quick. There is no stovetop involved. This is all in the microwave, so it's really simple to do. My ingredients are my onion, of course. I've already chopped up some bell pepper, and I just put this in the refrigerator, so I've got it for all week when I need to pull it out. 1 egg. It says deli ham in the recipe, but we don't eat a whole lot of deli meats around here, and I like to buy up these little cube ham pieces because they're good to throw into casseroles, they're good to throw into omelets, they're good to throw into soups, whatever you need. And they're already pre-cut. And this little bag of ham cost me $1.99. and I don't use a lot of it, so it's nice to have. I'll usually keep one in the freezer so I can pull it out as I need it. And then use some English muffins. You can actually use the slider size buns if you want them to be a little bit smaller, but I like the English muffins, and the really cool part about these is they're whole grain. So when you're trying to get half your daily grain intake to be whole grains, eating one of these is going to be a serving of grains. Then just some canola oil spray and salt and pepper, and we're good to go. So we're going to start out by, it calls for 2 tablespoons of chopped diced bell pepper. It doesn't tell you to spray the bowl in this recipe, but you should, because the egg will tend to stick in the microwave. So I'm going to just spray the inside of my bowl just a little bit, real quick blast. And then I'm going to I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon because I'm only making one of these sandwiches. And the recipe will actually, I think, that's 1. Okay, so I'm only going to put 1 tablespoon in because I'm not a big pepper fan. If you really like the pepper, you can put it in there. And then it's going to be a tablespoon of the chopped onion. And I'm just going to pop those in the microwave for 30 seconds. Now, while that's cooking, I'm going to take my English muffin. I'm going to, these are pre-sliced, so I'm just going to pull it apart. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the toaster. That way it'll be ready when I have my egg done. Okay. And I'm also going to open up my ham. They have different cuts of this ham you can buy. There's several different brands. This one happens to be the store brand. They have it in mini dices and they have it in the chunks, and this is like a chunk, a bigger chunk. I like it for the fact that I can have, I'll lay this aside, I can use this later. I will put this onion in a bag just like I did my pepper and have it for when I need it. Okay, so then I'm going to take my mix out here, and it was just enough to my onion started looking a little translucent. My peppers are soft. And to that, I'm going to add my egg. My ham. And it says a tablespoon, so I'm going to kind of eyeball it. These chunks are a little too big to be put in my tablespoon. And then water. I'm going to use a tablespoon of water. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. So I just have a little water cup here. I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to stir it all around. Make sure your egg is nice and mixed up. Okay, then I'm going to take my bowl, put it back in the microwave for another 30 seconds. And in the meantime, my muffin should be just about ready to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and take it here.
So, Jonna, the last time that we had one of these classes, you mentioned something that I thought was a good thing to mention. You're in your house making food for yourself, so you're not wearing gloves.
Correct. Very good.
If we were doing this class in person, of course, anyone touching the food would be wearing gloves.
Right. Well, as you all notice, I have my hair pulled back. So anytime I'm cooking, even at home, I pull my hair back. And then, and as Liz said, in the regular classroom setting, I would have my hair pulled back. I would be using hand sanitizer and putting gloves on before I would cook for anybody. Okay, so I took this out after 30 seconds. I'm stirring it again. And I'm going to put it back in for another 30 seconds. You do not want to overcook your egg. Even though if it looks still a little watery when you take it out after the second time, do not overcook it because eggs will continue to cook out of the microwave for a few seconds when you take them out. So you don't want to get them so they're rubbery. So another 30 seconds and it'll be good to go. And for some reason, the top of my muffin was really, it's kind of funky looking, isn't it? Now with having
I do that in the toaster sometimes too.
Yeah, I think it was because it was so thin. One nice thing about having the pepper, this was just a piece of pepper I had left over from a meal that I cooked the other night, so I had it chopped up and threw it in the refrigerator because I knew I was going to be using it. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the onion that I pre-chopped. That way I'll have these sitting in the refrigerator. When I get up in the morning and I want to make my breakfast sandwich, all I have to do is grab those 2 bags out, throw my 2 tablespoons of pepper and onion in there, grab my ham, throw it in there, whip this up, and as you can see, it's going to, oh, didn't loosen up on the other side, did I? There we go. And I put this on there, and then the salt and pepper is preference. And there you go, folks. Just as good as a certain drive-through that we all tend to hit up quite a bit. And the really good thing about, I wanted to tell you about this. Okay, I had $1.99 in that ham. I had 79 cents in the pepper, and I'd already made a meal out of it. The onion was probably another 13 cents for the bag of onion and 1 onion. And bagels were $1.69, I think, for, not bagels, muffins were $1.69 for 6 of them. So I probably have got less than $1 in this sandwich. The famous drive-through that I was mentioning, on sale are 2 for 2. So you're going to pay $2 for this same sandwich, and it's going to have a lot of extra salt. It's going to have a lot of extra oils. It's going to have a lot of things in there that you have no control over. Now, I can take this and slap a piece of cheese on it, and it's going to be just almost the exact same sandwich you would get through that drive-through. And I can put whatever vegetables I want in there. If I didn't want the peppers and the onions, I could have used some shredded carrot. You could use some shredded zucchini. You could do just a vegetarian version, leave the ham out. If you don't want the vegetables in there, you could just do just the meat and make it a meat and egg sandwich. Use your imagination. You can do anything you want to with this. And like I said, we're talking less than $1 a sandwich. And everything I've got caught up here. How long did that take me, Liz? Was you timing me? I think maybe
I was not timing you. I think it was probably about 7 minutes, though.
7 minutes, yeah. And that was from to the end. Yeah. So yep. If you can prep the vegetables on a Sunday for the rest of the week, this could be something you can pop in the microwave and have it done while you're getting your morning coffee.
I would say that's less time than it would take to go through the drive-through.
Yes, it is. Very much so is. So there you go, folks.
So in your classes in person, sometimes we talk about things to go with a certain item that we're preparing. So okay. What might you, I'm going to put you on the spot like you always do in class. What do you think you would put with that sandwich?
I would actually do probably some fresh fruit on the side. You could do a little bit, if you want to do like a little yogurt and fruit on the side, just a little cup to give you. This is going to have your whole grains, your protein is your eggs, and your veggies are in there for your vegetables. So if you had a little bit of yogurt and fruit, there would be your dairy. You'd have your whole 5 food groups, which is on our famous My Plate that we always talk about. Everybody knows and loves the My Plate. So you're going to have, 1 serving of everything in one little sandwich here, plus some yogurt on the side. Now, another thing a lot of us will go through that drive-through and grab and spend sometimes as much as $3 and $4 on is your coffee. There are ways that you can make your coffee at home, and I know everybody likes their cafe mocha. Little tip, if you have some sugar-free hot chocolate mix on hand, a teaspoon or so of that into your coffee in the morning. You can even put some fat-free whipped cream on top of it if you really want to treat yourself. And there you go. You got your cafe mocha, and you can make it over and over and over again. So it doesn't take much to get that fast food experience in the morning, especially if you're feeding kids. I know when you have them when they get to be 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, they would rather go through the drive-through than have you cook them breakfast at home. They can do this themselves, and it's fun. It's really an easy little recipe that the kids can get involved with, and they can do it themselves. So, and it's a great thing for if you're single and on your own, that you can just pop these in the microwave and you got them, you're done, out the door.
Yep.
Okay, folks.
All right.
Well, I think I'll be back next week doing a kid recipe, which I can't wait to do that.
Next week is we're from now until Mid-July, we're alternating weeks. So we'll do an adult recipe and then a kid recipe on alternating weeks. We also have some other virtual programming coming up at the library. We have a virtual gardening class this coming Monday. And then a couple of other things this month. I'm just gonna put in the comments here a link to our online calendar. You can check out all of our other library events.
And then also in the links there, those will be putting in a copy of the recipe that we did today. And there also will be a link to a online newsletter called Seasoned that I also sent to her, and hopefully it'll go through okay. And in this newsletter, there's a lot of really great recipes. There's even some exercises in there if you're wanting to get a little active while we're all stuck at home a lot. But there is a really good newsletter. It's actually a magazine that you can subscribe to if you'd like to. Just go to their link and you'll be able to check it out. It is called Seasoned, and I think this is volume 1 of the newsletter. I'm not real sure what the recipes are, but they're really good. I get a lot of good recipes out of this, so please check that out.
Yeah, is that one written by the Extension Office, or is that through?
Actually, it is through the Chop Chop. If you've seen the Chop Chops come
Okay.
home with your kids from school, it is the same company that does the Chop Chop for the kids, but this is more for, it's geared more to older adults, but I mean, hey, we all eat food. It doesn't matter how old you are. So look, check it out for the recipes if nothing else.
I love Chop Chop. Whenever,
I do too.
In normal times when I would be at the Extension Office and I would see it there, I would grab it, and people would think maybe I was grabbing it for my daughter. No, I was grabbing it for me.
No. Yeah, it's
it
great.
has fun recipes.
Yes, it does. And it's really good if you have families. I mean, to everybody can share, because there's puzzles in there for the kids, there's recipes for the adults, and then there's just some good health benefit information usually in there as well. And then also, too, don't forget, I was going to show you my cutting board. It's got onions laying on it. Our celebrateyourplate.org is the website that we have a lot of the recipes we use in the SNAP Ed program. So check that out as well.
I'm just typing that in here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I sent you that link. All right, everybody.
All right.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for taking time to listen to me. And like I said, next week we'll be with the kids, and we're going to be making some frozen treats. And we, like Liz said, we'll be doing this now through the middle of July, and every 2 weeks for the adults, I'm going to kind of advance the recipes a little bit. So hang with me, and we're going to make some good stuff.
Yes, I've seen the list of recipes, and it's exciting. So thank you, Jonna. Thank you, everyone, for watching. See you. Well, you can see Jonna next week, and then you can see me back with Jonna in 2 weeks.